Hey everybody, my name is Zach, aka the Treasure Troll. I am a full-time reseller on eBay and Dibdit, and I just kind of wanted to start this channel to kind of keep myself accountable, to focus, and to push myself to do better this year as reseller, and hopefully maybe become a content creator as well. That's kind of the goal, of everybody that gets on here. But mostly this is for myself. It's to keep myself motivated, to keep myself focused, and to just push myself to be a better entrepreneur, if you will. So a little bit about myself. I am 42 years old. I am single. That is important later. You'll see why when I start talking about numbers. Been about 5 years now as a full-time reseller. Before that, for 13 years, I worked in corrections. First 3 years were in an adult facility, maximum facility. Didn't really care for that, so I pivoted and changed to a rehabilitation and treatment center for juvenile males. I did that for about 10 years. And it was great. I loved it. It was awesome. But there at the end, that kind of job takes a toll on you physically, mentally, spiritually. And I couldn't do it anymore. And then I don't know if it was divine intervention or what, but I found reselling on YouTube. I started out watching Retro Rick do his $10 video game challenge, which was awesome. And then I found Harry Tornado, NC Picker, now known as ADH Dave, Commonwealth Picker, Bearded Thrift Machine, all those guys. And I just started watching their videos, and I'm like, you know what? That looks awesome. I love a good bargain. I like to shop. Let's give it a shot. So I quit my job, went all in, sunk my entire life savings into it, and here I am 5 years later, still doing it, still making it. Am I getting rich? No. Am I keeping the lights on and the dog fed? Yeah. And I'm obviously not starving, so it's going okay, but I want to do better. I want to ramp this business up. I want to be more accountable, and that's part of what these videos are going to be. So I really want to do 2 videos a week. I want to do a video every Wednesday. That's the fun stuff, the going out to the thrift stores. When garage sales roll back around, we'll start doing that. Obviously, it's cold outside. You see me all bundled up. I just got home from the thrift store. And so, that's going to be the fun stuff on Wednesdays. And then Sundays is going to be real talk. It's going to be the real raw side of reselling that I don't want to say YouTubers gloss over, but it's not glamorous. It's not fun. It's kind of hard to talk about sometimes. And so that's kind of what I want to do on Sundays. That's going to be my Sunday confessional. Where I talk about the numbers. I talk about, the struggles for the week. Where I failed, where I can do better, where I succeeded. And that's kind of the main idea of these Sunday videos. They're going to be probably a little shorter than the thrifting videos. I want the thrifting videos to be 30, 45 minutes long, somewhere in there. Provided I find enough good stuff during the week to, fuel the video that long. And then this one's just going to be me talking to the camera. It's going to be me telling you what's going on, and, where I'm at. So, I don't have my numbers for last year. I just have my numbers for this week, because that's what this is going to be. It's going to be like a weekly what sold, and then where that leaves me. So this week, I sold, I'm going to try and pop comps up here, or, the sold listing for you. I sold a pair of vintage Dan Post boots for $165. I sold a Lego Ninjago new in the box for $9. A Power Ranger game, it was open but complete, for $19. A book, first edition, Stone of Tears, sold for $45. Everything except for books are plus shipping. Books are free shipping because I can kind of bake that into the price. You guys know about that. Halo book sold for $20. Flight jacket sold for $85. Sold a baseball glove for $50. I sold a Lamax Christmas for $14. It would have been worth more, but I didn't have the cord and it didn't have battery ports, so I couldn't test it. So basically sold it for parts. I sold a vintage Care Bear blanket, baby blanket, for $15. John Deere Turbis for $15. A Cabin Critters stuffed turkey for $50. These are kind of a bolo. I have no idea why they're worth this, but it's vintage 2002. It's literally just a stuffy that's a turkey. It's a pretty realistic looking turkey, but it's still just a stuffed turkey. I sold a Killer Croc action figure from the 90s for $7. And then this Bath and Body Works spray for $30. So that gave me a grand total of $524 in sales before fees, taxes, all that good stuff. So after shipping and fees, my payout would be $365. That's not, a lot of electricians bring home $500 to $600 a week, but $365 ain't nothing to sneeze at. After taxes, that comes out to $273.75. I usually take about 20% off for taxes, or 25% off for taxes. And then out of that $273.75, I always take 25% and put that into the business checking account, and that covers my eBay store, my bookkeeping program, and then that's sourcing money. That's the seed money to keep the machine going. That's the fuel. So after all said and done, take home for the week is $205.25. Now, this is where the I'm single thing comes in. I can survive off of $205.25 a week. It's tight. There's a lot of beans and rice in the house during those weeks. I'm not eating steak. I'm not eating lobster. I'm not buying pop. But I own my home outright. I own my vehicle outright. And I don't have a wife or children to support. I just have a beagle who eats as much as a teenage boy. But I can survive off of that. Now, a lot of you are thinking, okay, so $205 a week, 52 weeks, was that like 10 grand a year? That's about $11,000 a year if I only make $205 a week. But it's January. It's right after Christmas. Sales are always slow at this time of year. Most resellers make their money in Q4, Christmas time. And I'm just like any other reseller, that's when I make my money, is for the most part September, October, November, December. Those 4 months are the prime time to sell on eBay, for the most part. Every once in a while, if you've got good stuff, it'll sell year round. So what you got to do is you got to be smart with your money. You got to budget. I'm not always good with that. So I'm just like anybody else. I get a big payday and I want to celebrate. I want to go spend $200 at Red Lobster with my family or something. My mom or my dad, whatever. And that's the other thing, that this is to hold me accountable. Like, I got to remember, I got to save that money. Because there are going to be weeks where I only make $100 or $200 like this week. And so that's the thing, guys. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it under control. You gotta budget. You gotta be smart with your money. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just saying, if you're gonna get into this gig, just don't think it's a holiday if you make $6,000 in a month, because late you're probably going to have a month where you only make $1,000, and you're going to need that money later. If I'd have had a family, like a wife and kids and stuff like that, I definitely wouldn't have jumped into it the way I did. I would have definitely just done it as a side hustle and built it to the point where I could afford to leave. If I could have afforded to leave, which, the way health insurance is and stuff, I might still be working at my previous day job. But at the end of the day, like I said, that's the numbers for this week. $205.25 in my pocket. That's after fees, shipping, taxes, putting money back into the business for seed money for sourcing and things like that. So not horrible. I mean, I've definitely had worse weeks. So yeah, that's this video for this week. It's my first video is going to be less than 15 minutes long, mostly just me babbling and randomly. But if you want to go on this journey with me, if you want to see if I can actually make this work, like, subscribe, follow along. I'm going to give myself till the end of this year, and if I don't make at least double what I made last year, I might have to think about getting a regular day job again and just doing this as a side hustle. But I honestly think I can do this as long as I stay motivated and stay focused, and that's what these videos are going to hopefully do for me. So until next time, hope you show up on Wednesday to see the fun part, the thrifting part. Not just this old bearded dude babbling into the camera, And all right, that's it. See you next time. Thanks for watching.